Hey there, John Morris here, johnmorrisonline.com. Welcome back to another episode of the John Morris Show. All right, so if you guys have been around for a little bit, you know the drill. Today is blatant sales pitch day because it is the last day of the 37% off sale I've been running on my PHP 101 course. So if you don't want to miss out, you need to enroll before 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tonight. Otherwise, it'll be gone for good. If you haven't seen it yet, the link is johnmorrisonline.com/special. All right, so with that out of the way, let me go ahead and talk through what you're actually going to be getting access to once you enroll. So this is the dashboard page of the course. This is the page that you're going to see once you get all registered, and from that point forward, every time when you log in, this is what you're going to see. So the first module is what I call the foundation, and this is where we're going to really kind of demystify a lot of maybe preconceived notions you might have about programming in general, about PHP, and really kind of get on the same page and show you all of the basics and build a foundation for you to be able to then move on to more advanced things. So these are skills you're going to learn every single day when working inside of PHP over and over and over again. So we're going to show you all of that stuff. And this is the module that a lot of, I would say, new developers, people who are brand new to programming, get a lot out of because, again, we focus on demystifying and then showing you some basics, not only of coding, but just of programming. And it really helps you to understand kind of how all of this works and hopefully how all of it fits together. So, again, if you're brand new to programming, this is the module that is probably going to be the one that'll stick out to you the most. Once we get through that, then we're going to move on to Module 2, which is I call the next level. So this is where we start doing more advanced stuff. This is the kind of stuff that when you can do it, clients, people that you know who aren't programmers, etc. This is stuff that they almost think of like magic, or they'll think you're some sort of genius or whatever being able to do this sort of stuff, because it's stuff that just doesn't, if you don't know it, it doesn't really make sense, like creating files and creating folders and uploading files, things of that sort. So we're going to show you how to do all of that inside of this module. And then Module 3 is, of course, MySQL, which is really, when it comes to PHP programming, that's the bread and butter of what it is in most cases, is you're going to be working with some sort of database, often MySQL. And so we show you everything that you need to know in terms of that. So let's go ahead and click through to one of these modules, or all these modules, and we'll show you the exact lessons that are inside. So you can see, again, exactly what you're getting here. So you can see all of the lessons down here. This one has 11 lessons. Start out with what is PHP. Again, this is where I'm kind of giving you the big picture of PHP. If you're brand new to coding and don't necessarily know all the ins and outs of exactly how it works and what we're doing, this is going to be a really big lesson for you. A lot of people learn a ton from that when they're brand new to coding. Then we get into kind of basic syntax with Hello World, variables, arrays, conditionals, if, else, and switch. We're doing loops with for and for each loops, while loops, get, post, send email, and then the practical exercise for this module is a contact form. So this is a form that you're going to write, and when you submit the form, it'll take what was submitted and send it as an email to whatever address you specify. So a contact form, we're going to show you how to kind of put everything you've learned in this module together in order to do that. Then in module number 2, as I said, this is a little bit more advanced stuff. So we're going to start off with operators, which honestly is probably a little bit boring, but you really do need to kind of know this, and so we're going to kind of get that out of the way. And then we move into some of the fun stuff like files, creating files, creating folders. I show you all about writing and appending, updating, all that, creating folders, sessions, cookies, writing your own custom functions, scope, constants, and then curl and file get contents, so we're making remote requests, uploading files. And then the practical exercise for this one is the one that I've kind of talked about in earlier videos, which is this multi-page form. And this is one lesson that if you really take this to heart and learn this well, this is something that you could probably do. You could go out right now or as soon as you learn this and start doing this for people. This is something that, again, it's a pretty hot market. This is what I talked about with Wufoo forums and SurveyMonkey and so forth. So this is kind of a big lesson inside the course. And then Module 3, as I mentioned, we're going to get into MySQL. So we start off with database design. This is something that I think a lot of new developers don't necessarily think about. A lot of times they're just trying to get the code down. But designing your database the right way is really important so that it's scalable, it's flexible. You can grow your application and you're not having to constantly rewrite your database. And so there's three kinds of tables that you need to know how to build in order to do that. And I'm going to show you how to do that, what those are, and how to do that in this lesson, and how to map it really from what you want your application to be and the functionality you want it to have to an actual database structure that you're going to need in order to support that. So there's a way to do that, and I'm going to show you that. Then we'll take that and actually build the database structure here, show you how to create tables in code both manually and dynamically. We're going to do connecting to the database, then get into our main methods for interacting with MySQL, which is create, read, update, and delete. You may have heard of CRUD. That's what this is. Again, these are the 4 main methods that you'll be using in all of your MySQL interactions. This is all in MySQLi and PDO. Then we'll get into prepared statements. So you've probably heard about that, preventing SQL injection attacks, just making your code more stable, secure, etc., easier to kind of work with. We'll show you all of that. Again, both PDO and MySQLi. Then we'll kind of crystallize all of this, and I'm going to show you how to create a database class. So you can kind of take all of this, put it into a class, and then you don't have to you can kind of cut down on the amount of work you need to do to actually interact with your database. You don't need to constantly be rewriting queries and so forth. You can kind of abstract that out a little bit, and I'll show you how to do that. And then we finish up here with form to database. So we're going to create a form, and we're going to take that data and we're going to submit it to our database. Again, this one is something, especially if you couple this with the practical exercise, the multi-page form practical exercise from Module 2. Those two things together, you could really do a lot in terms of your career, because a lot of things that you see out there, that's what they are. They're collecting form data, having some sort of maybe multi-page form to it, or maybe not, submitting it to a database. It's just, those two things are really the bread and butter in a lot of what you're going to do when working with PHP. So let's go ahead and click in then to a lesson here, go to this delete lesson to show you what the lessons page actually looks like. So you can see you have the video right up here, and then down below you have all the downloads, so you can download the video, the audio, and the source code. Most of the videos have source code. Some have PDFs that are the supporting documentation. You get all of those downloads. Again, that's right here. You can easily jump to different lessons. So that's what the lessons page looks like. Again, getting all the downloads, etc. And then the last thing I'll show you in here is this interview I did with Michael Phoenix. So Michael Phoenix is a software consultant. He's a 6-figure software consultant, and I had him come on and interviewed him, kind of picked his brain. And the whole idea here is, okay, I've learned all of this technical stuff, but now what do I do to go and turn this into a career, to start doing this for a living? And his story is really unique because it was not that long ago, 3-4 years maybe. He was broke. He was driving around in a beat-up truck. I remember he asked to come stay with me for a little bit, and on the way driving to my house, his truck broke down. He had to order some part and get this part and put it on he was in a really bad situation, and in the matter of a couple years, he was able to completely turn that around. Really, it was a couple months after he came and stayed with me for a little bit that he was able to get a tech job, and then over the course of the next year or two, he was able to turn that into a 6-figure consulting job. He consults huge companies, big brand names that you would know. That's what he does for a living now. So his story is really unique and kind of inspiring, and so I picked his brain and wanted to get him to talk to us about how to, again, turn this into a career. So that's what's in the course. Hopefully, as you can see, it's what you need to finally learn PHP once and for all. What have other students said about this? Honestly, my favorite piece of feedback that I've ever gotten is actually this one right here. Now, this is probably not the most salesy, the best for sales or whatever, but this is really my favorite. So this is from Joel Welch, and he said, "Just wanted to say thanks. I recently signed up for your PHP modules on your website. I've been developing for a couple years now professionally, and I still find plenty of value in your lessons. Appreciate the extra knowledge you put out as to why it works the way it does." And this is my favorite one because it really is what my aim is. And to have someone who has actually been doing this for a number of years and still finds value in these lessons, that kind of means a lot to me. So I really appreciate that one. Of course, I've got all these on the site. I've showed you this one from Kirk Oakes talking about Codecademy. The one up top with Chris Sean, how he was able to land a job making $45K in 3 months. Obviously, I'm not saying that's something that you're necessarily going to go do or whatever, but that was his experience. Within 3 months of learning how to code, he accepted an offer for $45K. So those are some of the things that students said. I've got a bunch of other feedback on it, but those are the ones that I have on the site that you can see. So again, hopefully you can see this is something that's going to help you finally learn PHP once and for all. Anyway, make up your own mind, but it is time to decide. The sale ends again tonight at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The link, johnmorrisonline.com/special. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.